How's it going, everyone? My name is DrapPep. Welcome back to another installment of this series. I've mentioned so often that my favorite genre is zombie related things, or better yet, the apocalyptic theme for horror, anything really. But one of my favorite zombie books is World War Z by Max Brooks. He's also written the Zombie Survival Guide, and the reason why World War Z is my favorite is because you're not quite getting the full story from just one character. Of course, you're getting the story from a reporter who's going around asking people about their experiences during the zombie apocalypse after the zombie apocalypse. So the book takes place after the apocalypse has been dealt with. There's no more apocalypse. It's done. And the reporter is just trying to get everyone's story of what had happened during the whole thing. And so each chapter sort of goes around talking to each survivor. And there's a couple that are kind of okay, and there's a couple that are really, really good. I'm talking the chapter itself could be its own movie. I think my favorite, and I do mean favorite, is the astronauts. Now that's kind of towards the end of the book. It's a bunch of astronauts. I think they're in a satellite or a space station. And did I really call it a satellite? Yeah, they're crammed in a little tube, but they're in a station, and they're no longer getting updates from HQ. They're not getting anything. So they think there's some kind of attack going on Earth that has made the government fall. And so they have to decide if they're going to go back or not. If they stay up there or leave, because I think that one of them suggested they could just leave and find a new planet to live on, which everyone laughs off. No one's like, yeah, okay, we would die out there. Let's not be stupid. So they have to make this decision because they need to plan out how they're going to, enter orbit. And there's some who are kind of freaking out about it because they have enough food to last a little bit longer, but even they're kind of sure that eventually they're going to run out of food and they're going to starve up there. But if they take the rations they have, they take all the supplies that they have, and they go into a capsule and they go back to Earth, they'll have enough food to last them while they try to figure out what's going on. And so the whole chapter is pretty much this debate: do we go back or do we stay? If they stay, they could probably last a little bit longer and then go back to see what's going on, or wait until they hear word. But if there is no word, right, from HQ, then they have to face this reality of they don't have enough supplies to last. I love that chapter because it's not about the zombies, it's about making a choice to stay or go back. Stay, play it safe, or go back and risk it to see what's going on. I love that. Another one that was really good is the military, and they're talking about how they're trying to deal with the zombie apocalypse. They have more bullets than they know what to do with, but the thing is that the infected keep outnumbering them. So they start using a line of fire, where they choose a line of once the zombie passes that imaginary line, then they shoot. They don't start shooting willy-nilly. They wait until they get to a certain line and then they shoot. And what that's doing is it's creating this barrier around them of the undead, where eventually the undead has to like climb over the wall, and they're just taking them off from the top, allowing them to give time to reload the guns, which was the real problem. Not the ammunition. They have ammunition. They have lots of it. It's having enough time to reload to keep firing. So eventually they end up with like these four walls of just piled up dead, to the point where they have to like bring out this bulldozer to push out a little exit for them to leave because there's that many. There's a lot of really fascinating stories from World War Z. So when the movie came out with Brad Pitt, I was, oh my God, I was excited. I thought it would be exactly like the book, where I'm going to be able to see all of the different scenarios. And they dropped the ball. They definitely, that was so disappointing. I mean, I still love the movie World War Z enough to where I went and bought the DVD. I just pretend it's a different movie. This isn't World War Z. This is some other movie, because it did not feel like the book at all. The book was nowhere close to what the movie was. The movie had its own completely different plot. But towards the end credits, those different scenarios that you see, those are in fact the book. Towards the end credit, you mean to tell me, in order for me to enjoy World War Z as a movie, all I get is the end credits? What you saw in the end credits, that should have been the movie. The end credits should have been the film. The film should have been about a reporter going around asking people for like their encounters of the zombie apocalypse. And then as they're talking, we should have gotten like all of these different scenarios playing out. It should have been a bunch of, pretty much a montage. But we didn't get that. What we got was Brad Pitt. That was disappointing. Another book that I liked about Max Brooks was the Zombie Survival Guide. One that I have not finished yet, and I feel disappointed in myself that I have not sat down and finished World War... What am I just saying? No, I finished World War Z 3 times. I have not sat down and finished the Zombie Survival Guide. There's a lot of really cool ideas in there. I'm not gonna like sit down and be like, oh, this is real. Everything I'm reading in here, it's gonna work out in real life. No, I just like the ideas that Max Brooks has about surviving a zombie apocalypse. Very often I will run a zombie D&D campaign, which is like my favorite. My absolute favorite. My absolute favorite. Oh my God. I love it when I get to do a zombie themed Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Oh my God, I love it. What I don't love is when everyone picks to be a cleric. What do you mean? Everyone decides to be a cleric? Really? You all suck. All of you suck. Especially when one person's like, I won't be a cleric. I'm like, okay, you're cool. I'll be a paladin. Fuck all of you. What is wrong? If you've never played D&D and you don't know why I'm mad, is because clerics have an ability where they could just hold their divine symbol, and every zombie in a 30-foot radius, I think, is like a level 1 and under, and that goes up as you level up. But like every zombie within that bracket dies instantly. I think they have to be at like 100 HP or less to die. Still, most zombies don't have that much HP. Most. So if you're going to run a campaign and everyone picks cleric, there's going to be a lot of dead zombies with no combat. A lot of dead zombies with no interaction of combat. It's going to be a very safe campaign. Very safe. I would have to say, for most people who are thinking about running a zombie apocalyptic campaign, which you should, that is the most fun you will ever have, is running a zombie themed campaign. The only downside is moving all the little independent zombies. That's kind of a drag. Outside of that, oh my God, running an apocalyptic D&D campaign is the coolest. And the one thing you should always try to keep in mind is that zombies, because your players are going to pick clerics, they are. So you have to make people the threat. You have to make every person they come encounter with a chance that they're not safe. There's going to be some who are safe, but the ones that are not safe, you should make them seem safe. Not like there's something wrong with their eyes as they stare at you. No, make them friendly. Make them inviting. You meet an elderly woman who's really excited to see you. She goes, oh, I haven't had company in so long. Please come on in. Have all of you eaten yet? Have you drank? Do you need water? Do you need a place to rest? I have some bedrolls in the barn. Make her the threat. Make her so welcoming that it lowers the player's defenses. And then randomly in the middle of dialogue, look at all of them and just go, I need everyone to roll for initiative. Without warning, without a reason why. I need everyone to roll initiative. Because their defenses were so low, the moment you mentioned there's going to be an attack, they're going to be confused. As they should be. And that is the perfect way to run an apocalyptic campaign. Make it to where they don't see the combat coming. They're thinking they're looking for zombies. They're not thinking that the friendly elderly woman who just fed them food might have poisoned them. And that is cool. I love doing that in apocalyptic campaigns. And what I want to do is use the zombie survival guide to further give me ideas of what to do in those campaigns. A lot of my players, they're not big fans of apocalyptic things. They'd rather just do the typical Dungeons and Dragons fantasy world. That's fine. I'll run that. But when I get the chance and my players are cool with running an apocalyptic game, oh hell yeah. Oh, I'm all in. I'm excited. You'll see light return to my eyes. You'll see excitement return to my voice. I am so excited to do horror themed D&D campaigns that it makes my players feel very unsafe. They're like, we're gonna die, aren't we? We're gonna be rolling many character sheets, aren't we? But that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you everyone for tuning in.